नमस्कार, रेडियो पाठशालामा तपाईलाई स्वागत छ। रेडियो पाठशाला मकवानपुरको नमुना विद्यालय आधुनिक राष्ट्रिय माध्यमिक विद्यालय संघको सहकार्यमा रेडियो सन्देश 106.9 मेगाहर्जले तयार पारेको हो। तपाई रेडियो पाठशाला, रेडियो सन्देश 106.9 मेगाहर्ज, अनलाइनमा radiosandеш.com, मोबाइल एप्लिकेशनमा रेडियो सन्देश फेसबुक पेज र युट्युब च्यानलमा रेडियो सन्देश अनलाइन टिभीमा एकैसाथ सुनिरहनु भएको छ। आज रेडियो पाठशालामा सामाजिक विषय पढाउनको लागि आउनु भएको छ सुरज बुढाथोकी। विद्यार्थी साथीहरू कपी कलम लिएर तयार रहनुहोला है।
Hello students, namaste, good morning to you all. How are you? Fine? Okay, that's good. Let's make a short recap, okay? Last time we talked about the national pride of our country. Let me ask you a few questions. What is a national pride? How do you define national pride? Okay, that's good, correct. National pride is our possession which makes us proud. National pride is our achievement which gives us a sense of satisfaction. It's a kind of ornament of our country. It makes us unique. Those elements which increases the glory of the nation, they are called national pride. In last class, we talked about it. After that, I gave you a project work on national pride. Okay, you have got two choices. Either you can write an essay on the national pride of our country and include all the 6 topics that we have, or you can write essay on any one. Either you can write about cultural diversity, or you can write about national flag, or you can write about national anthem, or you can write about Pashupatinath temple, or you can write about Janaki temple, or you can write about Mount Everest. While you write your essay, try to focus on one question. That is, why this is our national pride? Why it is so important to us? Why it is so dear to us? Why we love it? So don't forget to focus on this. If you write your essay focusing on this question, your project work will be strong. It will be good. Okay? After writing it, you can send it to me either through email or through messenger also. Okay? Last time I gave you my email address. In messenger, you can find me. There is Suraj Budathoki, and you can send it to me through messengers also. Okay students, we have already finished our unit 1. Now let's start unit 2. But before starting unit 2, let's talk about the present situation. This situation is very unusual. It's a situation which is disturbing you, where you are not comfortable, but don't worry. We all know that it is not going to last for a long time. So don't worry, be calm and talk to your parents, elders, relatives, friends, or teachers as much as possible. They can help you, guide you, they can teach you. So make yourself stress free. Always remember that all the good things and bad things in life don't remain forever. It has to end. This is the law of the nature. Okay? So be stress free by talking to your parents as much as possible. The next thing, you can use your time to learn the life itself. So sit with your family and listen to the moral stories, inspirational stories that they have for you, right? And grow positive attitude in yourself and spread goodness around you. You can also use your time to learn different skills. Usually what you do, you run from morning to evening for your study, only study. But now you have so much time. Learn different skills, like you can learn cooking, foods, farming, gardening. These things you can learn from different sources, either from books, either from your family, or you can learn these things from radio, TV, internet. These skills will help you in the future. The next thing you can do is come close to your tradition. I find so many students at school that they can't speak their mother language. They don't know about their tradition. So now you have time to know your religion, culture, different socio-cultural aspects of your community, and it can also help you to develop mutual understanding. If you try to learn your friend's religion, his different way of living, it will help you to understand him properly. It can increase social harmony in our community. You can do these things in this free time. All right? Okay. Now let's move on to Unit 2, Development and Infrastructures of Development. In this unit, we have two questions like we had in the first unit. We have two questions, one short question and one very short question. And also the mark is same. We have got 5 marks. If you follow your textbook through curriculum, it will be helpful for you to understand your textbook properly. It is very, very helpful. According to the curriculum, we have 5 learning outcomes of Unit 2. The first learning outcome is mention the concept and development and be familiar with the means and resources of development and mobilize them. The second one is give introduction to prerequisites of development and tell their importance. The third one is mention the status of education, health, transportation, communication, electricity, drinking water in Nepal. The fourth one, exhibit the creativity, collaboration, responsibility in the development work. The fifth one, explore about the use of traditional knowledge, skill and technology in the development of works. These are the 5 learning outcomes of Unit 2. And in today's class, we are going to talk about the first learning outcome. The first learning outcome was we have to be able to mention the concept of development and be familiar with the different means and resources of development. That is the first learning outcome, and our first lesson is about it. Development. What is development? In our previous unit also we talked so many things about development. Development is a process of positive change, right? It is a process of bringing positive transformation. It is a process of creating something more advanced. A scholar has defined development as a process of modernization. आधुनिकीकरणतिर चाहिँ अगाडि बढ्ने एउटा प्रक्रिया नै विकास हो भनेर पनि एउटा समाजशास्त्रीले यसलाई चाहिँ परिभाषित गर्नुभएको छ. And also we know that it is a dynamic process that brings positive and progressive changes in the society. So these all are the definition. I hope you can write the definition of development. What is a development? Now you can write about it. In a broader sense means in a wider sense, we can tell development is a growth, it is advancement, it is positive changes on different aspects of the society. All right? If you have got copy, just note it down. Development means growth or advancement or positive changes on different aspects of the society. Number 1, economic condition. Number 2, institutional situation. And number 3, socio-cultural norms and values. In these things, we can see the difference, we can see transformation, we can see growth in these things. Now let's deal one by one. Economic condition. How do you know that there is difference in the economic condition of the people of a country? There are certain indicators of development which shows the economic progress of the country, right? They are gross domestic product. It is also known as GDP. Another one is gross national product, also known as GNP in short form. And there is another one, per capita income, also known as PCI. These 3 indicators shows the economic progress of a country in a year. And the second one, institutional situation. How do you know there is growth in different institutions of the country? For example, in education, the development ratio is indicated by literacy rate. Is there progress in our education system or not? It is indicated by literacy rate. What is the situation of health? It is indicated by life expectancy. We have got life expectancy. It indicates the development in the field of health. And has there been any progress or not in the political structures of the country? So there are these things. Now you know what are the indicators of development. The indicators of development are numerical value, which indicate the development status of a country in a given period of time. So these indicators which shows the development status of a country in a year are called indicators of development. For example, you can say GDP is an indicator of economic development of the country. Life expectancy, literacy rate, they are the indicators of institutional development of the country. All right. Now, let's deal the first one, gross domestic product, GDP. In short form, we say GDP. अब हामीले चाहिँ gross domestic product को बारेमा deal गरौँ है भाइ बहिनीहरू. If you have got copy, note it down. Gross domestic product is the monetary value of all finished goods and services made within a country during a specific period of time. Let me repeat it once again. Gross domestic product is the monetary value of all finished goods and services produced within a country during a specific period. There's another definition. Gross domestic product is the total market value of all goods and services produced by a country within its territory in a particular period of time. There are 3 key elements. The total value of goods and services produced by a country within its boundary within a year. These are some of the key elements you have to write while writing the definition of gross domestic product. एउटा देशले कुनै निश्चित समयमा उत्पादन गरेका सम्पूर्ण वस्तु र सेवाहरूको मूल्यलाई नै हामी चाहिँ कुल ग्राहस्थ उत्पादन भनेर भन्छौं. नेपालीमा कुल ग्राहस्थ उत्पादन, gross domestic product. Is it clear? Now let's move on to the second indicator. The second indicator is gross national product. Gross national product, in short form, we say it GNP. It is called GNP in short form. GNP is the total value of all goods and services produced by the people inside and outside the border of the country in a particular period of time. Now see, it is very much similar to gross domestic product. Gross national product and gross domestic product, they are very similar, but there is just one difference. And what is it? Yes, you are correct. The difference is in GDP, we have the total value of goods and services produced by the people inside the country. But in GNP, we have got the total value of goods and services produced by its people either inside or outside the country. चाहे त्यो देशभित्र होस् वा चाहे त्यो बाहिर होस्, जहाँ रहेर पनि यदि त्यस देशका नागरिकले सेवाहरू र वस्तुहरू उत्पादन गर्छन् भने त्यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले ग्रस नेशनल प्रोडक्टमा राख्छौं. So now you see, in gross national product we have got GDP plus remittance. So GNP is a sum of GDP plus remittance. And in the modern days, GNP is also known as GNI. It is widely known as GNI. Now people also use GNI for GNP. People use gross national income for gross national product. So gross national product and gross national income, they are same, but gross domestic product and gross national product is different. In gross domestic product, you know now, it is the value of goods and services produced within the boundary of the country, and in gross national product we have got remittance as well, in GDP plus remittance. विदेशबाट आउने पैसालाई हामीले रेमिटेन्स भन्छौं. रेमिटेन्स पनि जोडिएको हुन्छ. जीडीपी मा रेमिटेन्स पनि जोड्दाखेरि हुने कुल एउटा भ्यालुलाई चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ जीएनपी भनेर भनिरहेका छौं. Now let's go on to the next one. Keep on writing, students, keep on writing. Per capita income. Usually students think it is capital, but it is not capital, it is capita. PER, per, CAPITA, capita, income, 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 per capita income. This is the third indicator. First one we talked about GDP, the second one we talked about GNP, and the third one it is per capita income, or in short form PCI. Alright, now let's deal PCI. What is a PCI? Of course, you are right. when you calculate GDP by the total population of the country, you get per capita income. So the definition is like this. Per capita income is the average income earned per person in a given area in a specified year, right? That is per capita income. So now you know it is calculated by dividing the area's total income, that is GDP, by its population. When you divide your total income by your population, you get per capita income. And per capita income is also called as the national income divided by the population size. And don't forget that per capita income is always expressed in US dollar. Sometimes there is a question in the exam, why per capita income is expressed in US dollar? And we have got just two reasons. The first one is US dollar is widely used in the world. First reason, US dollar is widely used in the world. And the second reason is it is highly stable in comparison to other currency. यी दुई कारणहरूले गर्दा पर क्यापिटा इन्कमलाई हामीले चाहिँ US डलरमा लेख्छौं. All right. Now let's talk about the difference between developed country and developing country. Dear students, I think that you know the basic differences between developed country, विकसित देश, and developing country, विकासशील देश, विकासलाई आत्मसात गरिसकेको राष्ट्र developed country, र विकासको गन्तव्यतर्फ अघि बढ्दै गरेको राष्ट्रहरू, that is developing country. What is the difference between developed country and developing country? Let's talk about it. The first point is use of resources. You can talk about the difference between developed country and developing country on the basis of use of resources. है, पहिलो एउटा point लियौं, use of resource. On the basis of use of resource, you can classify a country. Either it is a developed country or it is a developing country. What happens in developed country? They have already made wise use of the natural resources and the human resources of the country. The available resources have been utilized in developed countries, but in developing countries, the available means and resources are not used properly. So, on the basis of use of resources, we can find difference. And another one is raw materials and manufactured goods. On this basis also you can classify either it is a developed country or it is a developing country. Developed countries, they usually export manufactured goods. And developing countries, on the other hand, they export raw materials. So that is another difference. Developed countries export manufactured goods and import raw materials. On the contrary, developing countries export raw materials and import manufactured goods. In this way, we can see there is trade surplus, or you can say trade profit in developed country, and there is trade deficit, or you can say trade loss in developing country. All right. The standard of living is the another one. If you look at the standard of living of a developed country, it is quite high. They live a quality life. But in developing country, the standard of living is very low. So that is another difference. The development of science and technology is high in developed countries. The development of science and technology is low in developing countries. The major economic activity of developed country is industry, trade, commerce, and the major economic activity of developing countries are farming, animal husbandry. Usually they are involved in agriculture. In terms of social problems also we can find difference. In developing countries, we find lots of social problems. But in developed countries, we find very less social problems. So these are some of the differences between developed country and developing country. I hope you can write now difference between developed country and developing country. Now let's move on to the next one, means and resources for development. As we have already talked about the learning outcome of this unit, the first learning outcome is to be able to give definition of development and its different aspects, and we have to be also able to write about the means and resources of development. Means साधन, resources स्रोत. हामीले अहिले यहाँ कुरा गरिरहेका छौँ means र resources विकासका स्रोत र साधनहरूको बारेमा है भाइ बहिनीहरू. I am going to talk one by one. First, education is a resource and the means are schools, colleges, technical institutes. These are the means. So now you see, resource is education. स्रोत भनेर हामीले के ल्याउँछौँ, शिक्षालाई ल्याउँ, र शिक्षालाई सुधार्नको लागि प्रयोग गरिने साधन भनेर मिन्सको रूपमा के ल्याउँदा भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ जस्तो शिक्षालाई सुधार्नु पर्ने छ भने हामीलाई के चाहियो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ वी निड मोर एन्ड मोर स्कुल्स, वी निड मोर एन्ड मोर कलेजेस एन्ड वी निड मोर एन्ड मोर टेक्निकल स्कुल्स. बुझ्छौ नि होइन भाइ बहिनीहरू, टेक्निकल स्कुल्स भनेको स्कुल्स वेयर यु क्यान लर्न डिफ्रेन्ट काइन्ड्स अफ भोकेसनल सब्जेक्ट्स. टेक्निकल विषयहरू पढाइ हुने, प्राविधिक विषयहरू पढाइ हुने विद्यालयहरूलाई भन्छ टेक्निकल इन्स्टिट्युट्स. सो दिज आर द मिन्स. If you use these means, then you can progress education. So education is the resource and schools, colleges, technical institutes, they are the means. The next one, health. Health is the resource. And to develop the health faculty, you have to develop certain means. अब हामीलाई केही मिन्सहरू चाहियो है, अब त्यो साधनहरू चाहियो. त्यो साधनमा के पर्छ त भन्दाखेरि हेल्थ पोस्ट, hospitals, health workers, medicines, these are the means to develop your health resource. All right. The next one is energy. Energy is a resource, and to develop it, there must be hydropower, there must be windmills, solar power, nuclear power. All these are resources. If we can develop these means, then we can develop our energy resource. Clear? Through hydropower, windmill, solar power, nuclear energy, we can develop our energy resource. जे प्रयोग हुन्छन् तिनीहरूलाई हामीले मिन्स भनिरहेका छौँ, साधन भनिरहेका छौँ, र त्यो प्रयोग गरेर हामीले के को विकास गर्छौँ त भनेर भन्छौँ भने त्यो विकास हुने चिज चाहिँ केमा गयो त, रिसोर्समा गयो. जस्तै स्कुल्स प्रयोग भयो र शिक्षामा सुधार आयो. स्कुल केमा गयो त भन्दा मिन्समा गयो, शिक्षा केमा गयो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ रिसोर्समा गयो है भाइ बहिनीहरू. नाउ आई थिङ्क यु आर क्लियर वाट इज मिन्स फर डेभलपमेन्ट एन्ड वाट इज रिसोर्स फर डेभलपमेन्ट. रिसोर्स एजुकेसन रिसोर्समा गयो, स्कुल्स केमा गयो त मिन्समा गयो, हेल्थ रिसोर्समा गयो, त्यसपछि गएर चाहिँ हस्पिटल्स केमा गयो त मिन्समा गयो, एनर्जी रिसोर्समा गयो, अनि त्यसपछि गएर हाइड्रो पावर स्टेसनहरू चाहिँ केमा गयो त भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ मिन्समा परे. The next one is irrigation facility. Irrigation facility is resource, and canals, water channels, tube wells, pump sets, all these are means. If we have to develop our irrigation facility resource, then we have to use these things: canals, water channels, tube wells, pump sets. The next one is labor. Labor is resource, and there we have got means. To develop our labor, there we need skilled labor, we need semi-skilled labor, and also we need unskilled labor. Skilled, semi-skilled, or unskilled human power is the means of development. All right? Okay, students, in today's class, we talked about development and the means and resources of development. First, we talked about the definition of development. Then we talked about the indicators of development. There are certain indicators which shows the development status of a country, like GDP, gross domestic product, gross national product, GNP, per capita income, life expectancy, literacy rate, All these are the indicators of development. We talked about it, and after that we talked about the difference between developed country and developing country on the basis of use of resource, on the basis of raw materials and manufactured goods, on the basis of export and import, on the basis of standard of living, on the basis of development of science and technology, on the basis of major economic activity, and on the basis of social problems. We talked about the difference between developed country and developing country, and at last we did about the means and resources for development. All right. Okay, students, in the next class of Radio Pathshala, we will deal about the prerequisites of development. If you have got time, go through it in your textbook. There are 4 prerequisites of development: literacy, public participation, entrepreneurship, and peace. These are the prerequisites of development. If you have got time, go through it, and in the next episode of Radio Pathshala, we are going to talk about the prerequisites of development. This much for today. Thank you. Be safe and keep your family safe. See you. Bye-bye.
हस्त विद्यार्थी श्रोता, आजलाई रेडियो पाठशाला यति नै। रेडियो सुनेर साथ दिनु भएकोमा तपाई सम्पूर्णलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। भोलि फेरि रेडियो पाठशालाको साथमा उपस्थित हुनेछौं। रेडियो पाठशाला तयार गर्न सहयोग गर्नुहुने विद्यालयका शिक्षक सुरज बुढाथोकीलाई धन्यवाद र रेडियो सन्देश 106.9 मेगाहर्ज का प्रविधिबाट सहयोग गर्नुहुने प्राविधिक साथी सुरेश गुरुङलाई धन्यवाद दिँदै आजको कार्यक्रमबाट सम्पूर्ण पाठशाला टिम बिदा हुन्छौं। नमस्कार।